You're not going to miss this episode of the AI Show where we talk about applied AI, computer vision, and OCR. Make sure you tune in. Hello and welcome to this episode of the AI Show where we're talking about applied AI, computer vision, and optical character recognition. Let's start with introductions. My friends, welcome. Tell us who you are and what you do. We'll start with you, Carlotta.
Yeah, hi everyone. So I'm Carlotta, I'm based in Italy, and I'm a cloud developer advocate at Microsoft, focused on AI machine learning technologies, and I'm thrilled to be here today.
Fantastic. Bethany.
Hi everyone, I'm Bethany Jepchumba from Nairobi, Kenya. I work with Carlotta as a cloud advocate for AI and machine learning, and I'm also thrilled to be here.
Fantastic. So why don't you explain what all of this is all about? Bethany, we'll go to you, my friend.
So today we're talking about computer vision, and this is a subset of AI that deals with giving applications the ability to see the world and be able to make sense of it, turning it into either readable or audible experiences. So as you can see in the image on the right, AI sees an image as a group of pixels values, and it can be able to interpret it, giving you an idea of what exactly is in the image. So it can do things like analyze your image, recognize text, that is what we're talking about in OCR, optical character recognition, and finally detect the different objects in an image.
So it's basically anything having to do with pictures and getting computers to do something with it. Am I right?
Yeah, you can also add videos to the mix.
Oh, see, I kind of knew this, but I feel like there's a ton of value here with what people can do. But can you give us, like, in practice, what are some things that one can do today?
So, for example, using the Azure Cognitive Service, Computer Vision Service, you don't even need to write any line of code, but you can use the API to do things like detect images in objects. There's this app called the Seeing AI, and the application actually reads out loud what is in the environment, and people who are not able to see can be able to get audible experiences of what is going on in the environment.
I love it. Is there a way that we can take a look at what this looks like in action? Carlotta, can you help us out with that?
Sure, of course. So I would like to show you a short demo in a way to guide you on how you can integrate in your solution computer vision service. And in particular, I'm going to show you how you can integrate the computer vision service in a React static web app, which will call the service using a URL of an image typed from the user as input. And also I will show you how to deploy it on the cloud. So as prerequisites of this demo, you will need two types of Azure resources, a cognitive service resource type, which we will need to consume the service, and a static web app resource, which is a service that automatically builds and deploys full stack web apps to Azure from a GitHub code repository each time you push commits or accept pull requests in a branch of your choice. But
this is awesome.
Yeah, sorry. But let's go maybe into the code itself. I have it in my Visual Studio Code environment, and the functionality which calls the computer vision APIs is hosted in a separate file. So you can see here a JS file in which at the bottom we start with configuring the key and the endpoint, which are the parameters used to consume the computer vision service. And then the visual features we are going to use to call the service as well. And scrolling down, you can see the main function of this JS file, which is the computer vision function. This function performs a few tasks. For example, it initializes the client using the key and endpoint previously set. Then it initializes the URL of the image we're going to analyze. And it is going to call the Analyze Image API using the visual features and URL we defined before, the computer vision client, of course, and the Analyze Image of the computer vision SDK for JavaScript. And in addition to these, if our image that we want to analyze contains text, check that we do by checking if in the return list of tags, we have the handwriting or text tags. In this case, we are going also to call the read text from URL function, which is going to call the read API of the computer vision service function, which has optical character recognition capabilities. So it is able to extract text from the image. But I also would like to show you how you can, when you have this function defined in a separate JS file, how you can integrate in your React static web app the service. In a few lines of code, you can call the computer vision function we just you just see in the other file and reset the state of the app. And we also are going to display the results of the computer vision service on our application by converting the results from a JSON format to a readable format. So once you have all these things set up, the next step is, of course, running the app. And the best practice is running the app locally, and then if everything works fine, deploying it on the cloud. But for time constraints today, I'm going to show you directly how you can deploy this app on the cloud. So we are going to trust this code. And in order for our app to retrieve the key and endpoint of the service, we are going to add a pair of lines of code which tells to our app that the parameters, the key and endpoints parameters, can be retrieved from the secrets of our GitHub repository, in particular in the actions action section. So I've already set up these secrets for you. So I'm just going to add in the workflow file, in the YAML file of the workflow GitHub workflow file, I'm going to add this pair of line of codes here to tell our app that it can retrieve the key and endpoint starting from the secrets of the GitHub repository. And then we can just commit and push these changes because, as I told you before, by pushing to the main, in this case, to the main branch, these edits, we are going to launch a workflow. So we are going to run a workflow which will finally deploy the app on the cloud. So I'm going to, for example, write here, add secrets to actions as a commit message, and I'm going to commit and push these changes here, and I will show you how these result in a here we are. This is my GitHub repository. So this results in a workflow running here and deploying the app on Azure. So now I will hand over again to Bethany, I guess, in order to show us this app running on the cloud and the computer vision response to our image.
Just a couple of questions before you go. This is awesome. So basically, if I'm understanding right, this is all a client-side React static web app. It's just a demonstration on how to get it started really quickly with the API. That then you put the keys into GitHub Action and then pushes it to Azure static web apps. Am I getting this right?
Yeah, it's perfect. Definitely, yeah.
Fantastic. And then the other question I have is, generally it's not good practice to put the keys in the client side, but this is just an example. For those that are watching, you generally want to put that part in the back end in the function. Is that right? Am I understanding that right?
Yeah, of course it's right. This is a very simple example just to like familiarize with a computer vision integration in your solution, but definitely this is the right way to do things. Yeah.
I love it. And that's the cool thing about JavaScript, right? If it's in the background or the front end, it kind of looks the same. So really good example. Bethany, you're going to show us this in action. Is that right?
Yeah, that's something I'm going to do in a few. So I'll use this image and I'll copy the image link, go to our tab, and enter the URL. Once I enter the URL here, it will go ahead and analyze. While it's analyzing, there are 4 key things I'm going to show you. The first one is the color aspect of it. So as you can see, it's given me the URL and the different categories it belongs to, but I want to focus first on the color. So on the color, it gives me 3 major things. Number 1, it gives me an idea of whether the color is either black and white image or not. In our case, it is not. The other thing is the dominant foreground color and the dominant background color, as well as the accent color. And as you can see, it gives you an idea of if you want to build an app with this color code, it gives you an idea what color scheme to follow. The second one is tags. Tags give you an idea of what are the contents of the image. So the tags here are text, it's a font, it's a circle, there's a couple of logos, the clip arts, graphic design. So it's just giving you random things that can be used to describe the image. The third one is the caption and the description of the image. So the description here is this is a diagram, and the confidence level is not that high. So it's telling us, yes, this is a diagram, but of course there's so many things around it. It's not just a diagram. And the last part is OCR, being able to recognize the text here. And the text, as you can see, is make things happen. So how are you able to recognize the text? Let's see from our results. And the first one here, as you can see, the model version, this is the text and it's reading the results. It's giving us a bounding box on where they are. And the first one is the text make, and this is like the location of the text, and the confidence level is 96%. That is very high. And then coming down here, it's the text things, giving us the location of it, and also the confidence level is about 93%. And the last word is happen, this is the location of the word, and it even has a higher confidence level. So that's it about being able to detect the image and figure out what are the texts there, what tags can you associate with the image, and so on. Yeah.
And this is cool because this isn't the first time I've seen these, but every time I see the results of calling a cognitive service, it's amazing from design, you showed us the colors, to the text that's in there, to any tags that might be associated. It's just, there's so much information that you can get just by calling a service. And I think it's really cool, Bethany.
Yeah, so many. This is just like scraping the surface on what you can do. There's so many other things in case you want like detect if this is a famous person. There's also a service, a tag for that. So yeah.
That's really cool. Just a side story, since we're all here. I was on stage with a guy that was famous, and I was showing this service off, and I made fun of the fact that it recognized him but not me. And so I guess the devs were watching, and so now I'm a famous person for cognitive services.
You should talk to the cognitive service team.
Isn't that cool? No, if
famous.
you put a picture of me, it recognizes me because I made fun of the devs, and they got me back by making me AI famous. I'm so happy.
Can you link me up to the devs?
Yeah, I should send you. It's really funny, and because I try to make that joke every year at a conference, and it stopped working, and they're like, "We got you, Seth." So it's actually really cool the amount of people that it recognizes, the amount of information you get from design to whatever. But in all seriousness, there's so much to learn in this space. Is there, like, if let's just say someone's watching and they're a beginner, what would you suggest that they should do? Carlotta, we'll go to you.
Yeah, so we have a wonderful curricula actually for beginners, for AI beginners. And for example, if you want to learn more about the behind the scenes of this computer vision service, so which algorithms are behind the scenes of this service, how these algorithms, so we are talking about neural networks, deep learning, how these algorithms work and how they can see the world. So if you are interested in these kind of topics, definitely look at these beginners for AI for beginners curricula.
Fantastic. And I'm going to put the link below. It's just, if you go to aka.ms AI for beginners repo, I think it has lessons, it has explanations, it has really cool diagrams. Am I getting this right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's divided in different lessons, so it's very useful also if you want to like use it as on your own, let's say, to learn it on your own.
Fantastic. So for those that want more of a lesson guided something, is there something like that for them?
Yeah, of course. So as Bethany just said, we just scraped the surface of what of the capabilities of computer vision services, but there are more. And if you want to learn more, there is a learning path for Microsoft Learn dedicated to computer vision service. So definitely you should catch it up.
And then the last thing, we'll go to you, Bethany. Is this code that you showed, is it available somewhere?
Yeah, there's a link also that we shared, and you can go to that link and get access to the code and play around with it, see if you can make our UI better or so on. Yeah.
I think when it comes to UI, I am the worst, and so I will not be able to help you, but maybe some enterprising youths that do AI will be able to do that. Thank you so much for spending some time with me, my friends.
Thank you very much.
All right, we've been learning all about applied AI, computer vision, and optical character recognition here on the AI Show. Thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Take care.